Welcome to another episode of ExCEL with Gabrielle. I'm your host, Gabrielle Jordan, and every Sunday at 7 p.m., I'll be giving motivational advice and entrepreneurial tips to entrepreneurs and leaders just like you. So make sure to head over to my website, excelyouthmentoring.com, to subscribe to the ExCEL Youth Mentoring Institute, and don't forget to tell people about this because I wouldn't want anybody to miss anything. So in today's episode of ExCEL with Gabrielle, I am very excited to be interviewing a woman that has helped me become the influential speaker I am today, Ms. Jan Fox. With her natural gift of what she calls speakability, anyone could guess that she would have a career in television. As a 4-time Emmy-winning reporter, news anchor, and talk show host, Ms. Jan decided to take her talents for talking to others. As a speaker coach, she helps to develop the skills needed to have effective speech. With a long and sophisticated client list, including Marriott, Verizon, the CIA, and just about every government organization in DC, just to name a few, she is immensely qualified and excited to help people and businesses sharpen speakability and advance their purpose. So, without further ado, here is Miss Jan Fox. Welcome, Miss Jan. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Well, Miss Gabrielle, thank you. It's so great to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to talk with you here. Miss Jan has been my coach for a little while now, and she is, but in a simplest term, amazing. She did wonders for me when teaching me how to become a better speaker. And I really want to have her share her story and share some tips with you all that can help you to become better speakers, not just on stage, but when talking with networking or whenever. These tips can probably help you anywhere. So let's jump right in. Miss Jan, tell us, how did you get started when it comes to, being a speaker's coach? Where did you start?
Well, I didn't need to be one when I grew up, that's for sure. I was a kindergarten teacher, and then I ended up on television for a lot of years. And I just decided to retire and go to work for a little golf company. People kept asking me to speak and to coach, so I had to start a business. It's time to buy knitting needles, and I have to start a business. But it's been great. And the thing I've done is I had to take a look at all those years that I stood on street corners and tried to quickly train somebody to be good in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. They would say, I'm scared, I don't know what to do with my hands. They would say, I'm scared, I don't know where to look. I'm scared, I don't know how to talk. So I would just do little things to them very quickly to make them feel ready to go. Yeah. And that's what I've put into a system to assist people who want to speak better. It's not a major overhaul. They're just small tweaks, little things that show big impact right away.
Right, and I definitely can agree because when I came to you, I was already speaking. But you really helped me with multiple different, mannerisms, how I tell stories, just little things that really allowed me to elevate my speaking and allowed me to elevate the speech itself to the audience and to the crowd. So definitely really wonderful. I would like you to just kind of share a little bit about one topic that really helped me, which was the storytelling. I know the first time I came to you, you talked to me a little bit, shared with me a lot about how you were able to help people that had a really great story but didn't really know how to present it. What would you think one tip that you would share with someone, with my audience? What was one tip that you would share with them to help them to tell their story better?
Make it simpler. They start last Tuesday. No, I think it was Wednesday. It was 3:30. No, it was 4 o'clock, and we were going to the store. No, we were going to the dime store. I mean, they throw in all of these details that are absolutely useless to the meaning of the story. So I boiled it down into what I call a SOAR story. Somebody's stuck, they have an issue, maybe it's your client has an issue, and then you show them a little opening, but you talk in terms of we discovered a little opening, something that might work. They answered yes, and then look at the results. So it's stuck, open, answer, rise. And you don't need anything more than that. It can be very simple, but you do try to have to still put in feelings. You have to put in visual language. You have to put in colorful language. Today, I spoke at a university, and I purposefully put in 2 pieces one that would make them smell something, and one that would make them hear something besides just my voice. And so you try to hit all the senses in one of those little 4 or 5 line stories.
Right.
And just think about it. If I'm telling a client a story like that about a client I had who was stuck, needed a little something, we found a little opening, we tried something, they answered yes, and they doubled their business in 4 months. What does the client sitting in front of me want? They want exactly that result for themselves.
Exactly.
So that's how stories are used. The other thing about a story I think is really critical is you have to make them feel. Stories aren't full of facts and figures. There's stories about who, what, when, how, and they show emotion as you tell it, and they feel emotions as you tell it, and that makes it more meaningful, and it makes the client want you have even more.
That's fantastic tip to share, because I know with me, when I tell stories, sometimes I may not be kind of all over the place trying to share it. And I think it really helps to be able to just narrow that down and understand that you don't have to jam so much in order to get the point across. You keep it simple. And another thing that you shared with me and taught me over a period of time was about, how to move your hands, especially when telling stories. And you helped me a lot with the cupping, making sure that you're kind of inviting. Can you share one tip that you think would be best for someone who, when they're speaking, the mannerisms that they need to have in order to present well?
I think your hands follow your words. So whatever your words are saying, your hands can help you say. It's just that simple. I don't say, put your hand here for this word, do this for that word. I just say, let your hands follow what your message is. I don't say, my little boy needs to shoot basketball, or my little girl likes to ride her bicycle. I don't do that.
Right.
But I'll give you some examples, and maybe you can do them with me to show them too. If you say something like everybody, it means one thing if you say everybody. It means another thing if you say everybody. It means one thing if you say over in Pittsburgh. It means another if you say over in Pittsburgh the other day. And if you say, we can't keep going with these numbers. I see my hands just moved. I can't do that. It means something else if I say, we can't keep going with these numbers. So if you shake hands with somebody and you let go, your hands are left just like this. Not stiff, not pointed in. If you are a person who points your fingers inward, they can't get out. They keep staying there. And then, look, I'm all shut off from the audience. And so I say, leave them out, inviting and open to the audience. Can you see them? Open and inviting to the audience. Not close. And if you have your fingers all open, that's too complicated to watch.
Right.
They're not closed stiffly. They're just kind of lying next to each other. The way when you finish your handshake. And so these now can say or do anything that you need to have them do. And it doesn't mean it means my hands are always, see how that happened? My hands are always moving. People say, but what happens if they don't need to be saying something specific? They just drop. And then the next sentence, look at this. The next sentence you pick up, you use your hand to help you say it.
Exactly.
So that's what I say about your hands.
Yeah, that's a good tip. And I know I've been constantly working to apply that. Ever since you first started teaching me about that, that's just been my goal, just to continue to work on that and just to be very conscious with my hands until it becomes very natural. So that's something that really, I think a lot of the young people and even the adults that are watching this can really benefit from. Because I know you have both of the audience.
Well, I had a conversation with some college students today, and they filled out these little cards, and at the bottom, 2 or 3 already said, I need to know what to do with my hands when I talk.
Yeah.
It's a very big issue for people. If you think about it, if you're standing in the hallway at your church, if you're standing by your locker at your school, if you're standing in an office someplace and you're having a conversation with somebody, your hands are just normally moving in perfect cadence with what you're saying. And all of a sudden you stand up to speak and they're supposed to be frigid and freezing and not moving and frozen.
Right.
No. They're supposed to still do what you normally do with them anytime you talk.
Right.
So the natural thing is to let your hands move. The unnatural thing is to put them in frozen position. But that's where we go.
Right. You kind of get nervous.
I just want them to look natural. Well, video yourself having a conversation on the phone with somebody, and your hands are moving naturally. So then just do that when you speak.
Yeah, and that's wonderful advice. I definitely like the idea of kind of videoing yourself when you are doing something naturally, when you're talking to someone naturally. I think a lot of the young people and the adults can see that and probably take that advice and possibly use that. And so you've already really given some really great advice for these young people, but I definitely know that one of the most difficult things for a young speaker is to actually get up on stage and speak. And especially for me, when I was getting started, I was very, very nervous. I was, it wasn't something I was really good at in the beginning, and I didn't really feel comfortable talking in front of other people. And I know a lot of people have that fear of stage fright. And so what kind of advice would you give to someone that has that fear? Have you ever dealt with someone with stage fright, and how did you help them?
All the time. The biggest thing I get, I have to give a talk and I don't know how. So I don't know how this is going to look, but I have to stand up to do this, okay? So I'm going to move my high stool out of the way.
Okay.
I'm going to try to stand here.
Okay.
Can you see me okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you're listening to this, I want you to just stand up right now. And here you are, getting ready to give a talk, and you are in a speaker barrel. You're not moving. You're just standing right here, wondering what to do with your hands, and you're not worried about your audience at all. You're just worried about your words. Mm-hmm. Well, watch what happens if you just take a little step and let your hands say, I'm just here sharing what I know. I'm just here with you to tell you what I've learned. All of a sudden, we are together. Instead of, I'm the speaker over here, stuck in my little square that I can't get out of, and you're way over there and you're the scary audience. Instead, if I'm just sharing with you what I know, then I'm here right beside you. And that can just erases fear. Because if you just do that with me, I'm just here sharing what I know, you actually feel power come into your body. And I never have to say the word confidence. I never say I'm going to build your confidence. But something just happens when you release that speaker barrel position.
Right.
That's where nervousness breeds, right in that position. So you have to, as soon as you can, engage the audience and be over there with the audience and not just standing over here scared of the audience. Right. Does that make any sense?
That's fantastic. I know so many people just get so caught up in that, oh, they're the audience, I'm the speaker, so, I have to perform, but rather not just, they don't think, oh, I have to speak to you. They're more saying, oh, I have to perform and I have to do, wonderful. I have to, all those different things. And I think that really helps to think differently.
I go to this funky little blue jean church. I mean, my dad would call it not doctrinally sound enough to be called a church, but it's a group of people. And so I play these old funky wooden recorders. And we have this guy that I picked up. We had no musicians, so I picked a guy up off the corner by Barnes & Noble. He turned out to be an incredible flamenco guitar player. So he plays with us. And almost every Sunday morning he says, remember, you're not singing for God, you're singing to God. And so I just give that example of, you're not talking for the audience, you're talking to them, and I take it a step further, you're talking with them, you're just sharing with them. And all of a sudden that lets that fear subside.
That's fantastic. I think that's something definitely that I had to work on, and I'm sure that a lot of young people will be able to understand when they say that. Because I know a lot of times, just in the beginning, when you think about it, you're like, oh, okay, I have to be on stage and I have to talk to you and I have to inspire you. And yes, those things are true. But if you think of it more like you're having a conversation with these people, it becomes less of a need to perform and more of a want to share. And I think that's really, really wonderful.
Now, I think you do, when you're speaking on a stage, you do have to take yourself to the fullest end of your comfort zone. Yes. You have to take yourself to the farthest end of your passion potential and your authenticity potential. So you can't just stand there and talk like this, even though you're kind of you have authenticity and you're a little passionate, but it's not showing.
Right.
You do have to bring a bigger volume. You have to bring a bigger self, especially on stage. And then the other thing I think is when you are speaking with someone, you invite them in. So that means planning and preparing audience engagement, even if it's just a question. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Right, you do. I mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I also sometimes try to start with something that engages the audience. And as soon as they respond, then there's no way I can be nervous because they're with me. What?
Like a story or something? What would you say?
Yes, okay, like this today, for example. I showed a picture of a person pulling her hair out. Okay, raise your hand if this is how you feel about public speaking. And they did. And then I showed a businessman looking all serious and worried, and I said, and raise your hand if you feel this way when you've been asked to give a speech in front of the board. And so, of course, they did. And most of them felt that way. I just guessed that they would, but they did. And so once they answered that question and had a little laughter, chatter about it, then they were with me and I didn't have to worry about it anymore.
That's fantastic. I mean, you've given so much great advice today, and I think that the young people and the adults that are my viewers are going to be able to learn so much and be able to apply it in what they're doing. So I want to make sure that people can reach you if you are still doing the coaching for maybe young people or adults. Can you share them your website to find you?
It's Jan at foxtalks.com, but right now that site has a little kink. So you have to just put in Jan Fox Talks, and then you see Google gives you a little response, and you click there, and it takes you to the website. But if you just put in Fox Talks, it doesn't take you to the website.
Okay.
But I'm not worrying about it because in another week or two, I'll have a brand new one, and it's so beautiful, and it's red, and it's big and bold.
Oh, wonderful.
So I can't wait to see it. And yes, I coach kids, teenagers, adults, and teens. If you want to bring a whole bunch of friends and have a cram day, we go all day and you all get help. So it really depends. I customize it. It just depends on what you're comfortable with.
I recommend you visit. She's amazing, and she's taught me so much. Even in just a few classes that we've had, she has really elevated me as a speaker and allowed me to really share my story in the best way possible. Thank you.
It's funny because I think you came to me fairly cooked. You didn't need much at all.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Look at you now. You're just great.
Thank you. And is there anything else that you maybe want to promote before we end this?
Sure. I have a book called Get Yourself on TV. And so if you want to promote your business on television, it tells you how to get the producer's attention, how to put the segment together. And if you send me an email at jan@foxtalks.com, jan@foxtalks.com, I can send you all of this information in case you missed that crazy website.
Perfect. And I will also put some of the links down below as well to where the books are, and however you can get to the website. I'll make sure to put all the information down below so they'll be able to reach you. And the new website is the the first one?
It's www.foxtalks.com.
Foxtalks.com. Okay, perfect.
And that should take you to the old one, but for some reason there's a kink. So if you just search Jan Fox, you find me.
Okay.
And then the new one is going to have that same name, but it's going to be another week or two before it goes up.
Okay.
It's pretty. It's really pretty.
It's so great. I'm excited to see it, and I'll make sure to let people know. Thank you so much, Ms. Jan.
You're so great. You're so great. Thank you.
Thank you for watching another episode of ExCEL with Gabrielle. I hope that you enjoyed this interview with Ms. Jan Fox. If you are a young person, a young entrepreneur, or the parent of one, make sure to go onto her website and figure out how you can have Ms. Jan Fox as your speaking coach, because take it from me, she is wonderful at what she does. Also, make sure to head over to my website, excelyouthmentoring.com, to subscribe to the ExCEL Youth Mentoring Institute. You can also email me at excel@GabrielleJordanInspires.com and send me any questions, comments, or concerns that you'd like me to discuss in my next video. And I hope that you'll join me next Sunday at 7 p.m. to learn, grow, and excel with Gabrielle. See you later!